Hello everyone. Today is the first interview of one interesting person that I know. Hello.
Hi,
Tell please, what's your name?
my name is ALESSIO COCCHI. I am a photographer. Typical phrase in Instagram or in Facebook, I say that when I don't have to take pictures because of my job, I always take a picture. There is no one day I don't take a picture.
I have some questions for you.
Sure.
How did you start your career? How did you understand that you are not just a person with a camera, but a photographer?
That happened after I assist a few photographers and loving my job, because first I decided to make my passion to a job. I saw that the studio and the atmosphere inside the studio is my personal love, and starting to take pictures from the age of 6 by passion. So what you can do it using a camera with models and with wonderful dresses. That's what pushed me to be a professional photographer. So I developed my know-how in a fashion system, and slowly I became a fashion photographer, practicing a lot.
I understood that family is very important for every person and also to become a photographer. How does your family style in your childhood and when you were growing up made an influence for your career?
This is a very super deep question. Father always used still cameras and video cameras. So when I grew up with a father using always tools, amazing tools, because I remember when I was young, I loved the form of the camera, the tools that you can detach lens, that you can open. It was old Kodak. It was my father that saw me very interested in this kind of passion, gave me a small present. It was a small plastic Kodak Instamatic that I still have at home. Is in my collection of cameras. I will never give this camera to anybody. It's the most precious tool, the most cheap, but the most precious. He gave me this present and he suggested me to take pictures. My family was not very typical family. My grandfather wanted to live all together. So in one big house in the middle of the country near to Florence, thanks to my grandfather that he was a very super elegant man. And I remember that he took care about changing himself twice a day, going to work in the morning, was a perfect suit. He had super tailor-made shirts in silk that I replayed and now I'm wearing always when I'm working. This kind of elegant man for me was like a symbol, somebody to follow. And also my family pushed me to buy a typical clothes for a young child. I remember that in junior school, the girls always talk about me because I was a little bit fancy with the red pants or Scottish, something that now is very trendy, but in 70s it wasn't so much for a child, maybe for an adult. I have this memory that the elegance for a man is also the symbol of inside. Because of my family, I was pushed to put the elegance inside my pictures. Everything I started to do, even from the age of 6, 7, because the story is very long. Like my family gave me first the camera I told you before, but then they give me another camera a little bit more professional until the 18 years that they give me the professional one until I started to buy by myself. So every time I took a picture, I had to see something elegant, something beautiful, but not the beauty that some people can imagine. Something super classic, but with the eye of modern. So that's why my family was very important for my business. I have a DVD with the story from zero, from my mother is in a hospital until I say to my family, bye, I'm going by myself. So that you see now is because of my parents. Also, when I published my first book, the first page is dedicated to my parents, and the phrase is, my mother gave me life and my father creativity. me, me too.
I was shocked about your photography career. Please share with us your unique experience.
After a while, when I was really sure that my pictures are super professional, I started to check for customers. First super beautiful experience, the one who changed my life, like professional life, was Tom Ford. He asked me to make a test representing 2 glasses of water on white. And because that time I really was working a lot and I was really sure of myself, I just did it one Polaroid on the white background, and I didn't care about what to do as photography because transparent on white is difficult to represent in some creative things. But I took care about lights because I knew that Tom Ford has a very super elegant atmosphere in his pictures. So he was super sexy, but different from the other customers. And I wanted to create for him lights. I took pictures with a super beautiful backlight, and I didn't print something huge. I didn't make a super presentation to show how big is my studio. I just give the Polaroid. So I think that first, he was thinking this is a crazy guy, but then he chose me for the first accessory catalog, and from that time I was working in Gucci for 20 years long. After that one, Ferragamo called me for a few pictures, and then Dolce&Gabbana, and then I worked for Prada with Mr. Bertelli for the new Luna Rossa sportswear, and then Roberto Cavalli asked me to take lingerie pictures. Then Giorgio Armani asked me to test the watches. Until the present, now I'm working with Moncler. I'm very happy, like in 30 years of career, I never stopped to give my creativity to the super top brands. After I finished all the customers in Florence, I moved to Milano and I started to work with the North Italy customers. For Gucci, I didn't take only pictures. I was also consultant. So they let me realize the Gucci Museum. It means that I worked for 12 years, taking pictures from the first object. It was a pair of shoes created by Gucci, handmade by Mr. Gucci, until the modern collection. They let me design the photo studios in Florence, and then when they moved to Milano, I designed the photo studios in Milano. I developed Moncler studios in Milano also. So Harry, for example, now that is the best light producer in the world, they are German, asked me a collaboration, and now I'm with Leica for the same things. If you have a very strong know-how, everybody tries to keep from you something amazing, and I'm very happy.
Tell me, please, what's the difference between when you do photography for yourself and for somebody, for example, for a client or commercial?
This is a good question. It's really different. The customer push you and your creativity push you opposite. But after a few experience, you are able to mix all together. It's very difficult to put your style into the pictures because you have to respect a few rules, that the picture is all in focus, you have to see the details of the dress. So this is a job for a customer. When you take pictures for yourself, you are completely free. You can develop first one idea. Doesn't matter if you follow some rules or not. Doesn't matter if you see the details or not. You just focus your attention into the style of the pictures. The problem is that the interpretation of the pictures is mine, and sometimes that the subject of my pictures wants to change because he sees himself different, no? But sure that if he's an intelligent person will understand that he has to accept my kind of portrait. Otherwise, he can call somebody else. And when I accept really with a pleasure, I can tell you one of the experience. When I was baby, I watched TV, the first TV in color. And the best show of the year was Fantastico. And the soubrette was Heather Parisi. She was my first girlfriend in my fantasy, and I loved her. She was dancing funny, super athletic, and the songs was funny. So when they asked me to take portraits to Heather Parisi, I got crazy because after I grow up, after she almost disappeared from the TV, to have in front of me my idol. She surprised me because she was very kind, very normal in the attitude and in expressing herself. So I took a beautiful portrait, and this is not the job. The job is that I had a question. When I finished to take portraits, I asked, Heather, can you please dance Cicale? And she was dancing only for me. The dance that when I was in TV, so I was super emotional, so super, and that is still a very nice memory. Yes.
And after, when you take a lot of pictures, how you understand that this is exactly picture that I need, I want, I see?
Yeah, thank you for this question. I already saw the picture I like during the shooting. I mean, if I take 50 pictures of you in one location during the shooting, I know exactly which is the picture between the 50. That's also very particular. Many photographers says that you have to wait minimum 1 day before to choose to edit the shooting, because with a fresh mind and not with the emotion have during the shooting, you are more objective. But for me, it's completely the opposite. I choose the picture when I finish the shooting, because the day after is not the same, and I'm always true. So when I choose that picture and I publish this picture, if after a few weeks I go back, I open computer, I show to myself all the shootings I did before, I still convinced that that was the picture. I never go back and I never choose a different picture. Yes, this is, yes.
The pictures are in colors or in black and white? How you decide, and what's the difference?
You need to have a great idea. When you start to see something in your mind, you image in black and white or in color from the beginning. Because to shoot in black and white, it means to take out from the reality the distraction that the colors are making when you see something. So black and white for me means graphic, shadows, forms, composition, different. Color for me it means more emotions, more perfume, more elegance if the colors are mixed in the good way. I usually image before. This picture will be in black and white. Or if I have colors, I work with colored lights or colored backgrounds. And I am a photographer. I am not the owner of one digital camera. Photographers usually work before in film. And when you have film, if it's in black and white, you cannot turn in color. So before you have to decide first, is in color or black and white.
The question about your style of photography. Why now your style is moving pictures?
I told you before, when I started to work in professional photography, I was taking still life pictures. With the still life pictures, usually you are focused on the perfection. And usually more perfect is and more the people can like that picture. Everybody told me that I am geometrical, I am symmetrical, I am perfect in finding balance with the objects. When I started to take pictures to the models, I found that in fashion, if it's too perfect, it's not super beautiful. I was looking for the opposite of my mood that I had before, and I try to force myself to find why I have to take perfect pictures, because the people has to like my pictures. So I started to destroy my soul as photographer, and I published one book where everything is symmetrical. The title of the book is Palindrome. Palindrome, it means symmetrical. One word, palindrome, same as Anna. You can write from the left or from the right, is the same meaning. And I found that that's the most horrible pictures I took in my life. But I published to show that this is where I start to concentrate, to change my soul of photography. And then I started to say to the model, move. And then I went instead the rules of photography that everybody follow, but they mistaken. So shaking the camera, I made the atmospheres more artistic, like a painting style. And then I liked my pictures much more. And for the first time in my house, I have my pictures on the wall. And before I couldn't, I didn't like. It was perfect. Now it's not perfect. Life is not perfect. And another thing, this is important in the answer. I found one editorial I did when I was 26, 27 years old, has the same technique I'm using now. It means one very super important thing that every photographer has to understand when they ask me, how can I find my personal style? Go back, because usually the first things you do when you are young is your soul, is your mood. You just need to make perfect in the future. So it's just a story that it was broken, maybe for commercial purpose. And now I got back and I will never finish to do this.
What do you think about your earlier photos?
It was amazing to work in photography. I really like any picture I did it, because every picture is a symbol. No? It stopped the time. For me, is amazing. That's why also I am a photographer, not a video maker. This one I catch and it will be forever. So I love from my first picture when I was 4 years old, my flowers in the garden, very colorful, printed on Kodak paper, until the last one. But if you ask me different, like how you judge your first picture respect to the last one, the answer is the first one helped me to go to the last.
How did you get a job in Leica Academy?
It was my dream, because Leica is the history of photography. Inside the camera is one philosophy. It's the best tool you can ever have in your hands, fetish of the objects. Inside that tool, you have the history of the small photography, like 35 millimeters. And when you possess this camera, you feel immortal. And then, if you know how to use this camera, you feel Superman of photography. So this unlimited that you have in your hands, that join your mind with your eye, with the camera, and with the picture, the results, make you an orgasmic demonstration. When I could buy, I wasn't ready to be a teacher. Then I sold, and I was very sorry, my first Leica. I promised to myself I will never sell. It was like a film camera. And then it happened that somebody introduced me the Leica team, and they asked me, if you are interested to join the program, the name is Leica Academy, and become a teacher, you are welcome. And I say, me too, I'm very welcome. And I think in 2 weeks, I joined the program. I did the first experience in Milano. They proposed me to do this worldwide, so they are coming from all the world to follow my instructions with fantastic tools. I go on stage, I follow the students one by one until they ask me, they test, until they have the results that they want, or that they ask me to suggest to do it. It's 2 days of experience. I have a real fashion model, I have a real studio, the most amazing studio in Milano from Giampaolo Barbieri, the most famous Italian photographer. I'm proud to go there. And then with the best tools, creating with the Harley the best lights, so it's a very super beautiful experience. It's also for me, for myself, even if I do everything, every time is a very good surprise, because when I see the people happy around me, I'm very happy.
Is your hair is free or not?
No. I have a girlfriend, wonderful, wonderful, full of idea, young. So I know many things, but she wants to learn many things, and you create the balance. We both are interested in art. I think in 2 years, we did 2 times the trip of the world, watching museums, exhibitions, fashion show, and the dinner with beautiful guests. I always think that if you are a real artist, you need to live as an artist, but you cannot do everything by yourself. You need somebody that share with you this joyness and this amazing thing, because I'm a very lucky man. So I found exactly who complete me in this kind of artistic life.
What inspire you, and do you have a muse? It could be one or different.
I don't have one that inspire me, but I catch from many. My light maybe comes from Caravaggio. My shaking style is very similar to Saramoon, but I can tell you also Italian photographer, because Giovanni Gastel took a few pictures that are the best picture I ever saw in my life. And sometimes the graphic I make in my pictures comes from Romanic, but to be original, you don't need to show this one. It just capture in your story. You had different kind of emotions, watching different kind of things that comes from outside. and make you more creative to find your own inspiration.
Last, not actually question, what would you suggest to photographers in a career in art?
First, to study photography and take pictures. Never stop to take pictures. To shoot less than they shoot now and concentrate a little bit before start again with films. Photography is just one black room made in one camera with one film, with one lens. And if you can take pictures with this tool without automatic, digital, and any buttons, you are a photographer. And then, sure, you're able to use a digital.
Okay, for today, I think it's
Now.
a lot of information, very interesting, and for sure.
Yeah, the sun go down, the light is beautiful.
I have also another more deep question with maybe some funny stories, but I think it's another time.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
I'm very happy
Me
to
too.
talk to you.
If I express my Italian mood, it seems I'm doing gym. I am AB normal, I am abnormal. I am abnormal. Fuck. Sorry.